Let me start with a question that might feel a little too real. Have you ever spent hours studying only to realize you didn't actually learn anything? Like, you reread the same page 5 times, highlighted everything like it was art class, and still couldn't remember a single sentence the next day? Yeah, been there. We've all been there. And the worst part? Everyone around you acts like studying is supposed to be obvious. Just focus, revise your notes, stop procrastinating. Bro, if it was that simple, I wouldn't be drowning in chapters right now. The truth is, schools teach information, but they don't teach you how to learn. No one explains how your brain actually remembers stuff. No one shows you the method that turns studying from torture into something you can actually control. So today, I'm breaking down the study method that completely changed the game for me. The method no teacher mentioned, no textbook explained, and no exam guide even hinted at. This method works even if you're a procrastinator, even if you struggle to focus, even if you feel behind. And once you understand it, studying becomes way less overwhelming and way more efficient. Stick around, because this might be the upgrade your brain has been begging for. Let's be honest, most of us don't struggle with studying because we're lazy. We struggle because the way we're taught to study low-key sucks. Think about it. The typical routine is reread notes, highlight everything, try to memorize random facts, maybe watch a YouTube summary, then panic at 11 p.m. when nothing sticks. That's not studying. That's academic self-torture. And we do it because it feels productive. It feels safe. But your brain doesn't learn through passive stuff like rereading or highlighting. Your brain learns through pulling information out, not stuffing more in. And this is why so many students feel like they're grinding for hours with almost no results. It's not your intelligence, it's not your discipline, it's your method. When you use the wrong method, even 5 hours feels useless. But the right method, 45 minutes hits harder than your entire old routine combined. And here's the cliffhanger. The method that actually works isn't complicated. It's not aesthetic. It's not some fancy study hack. It's something simple, backed by neuroscience, and you can start using it today. And once I explain it, you're going to look back at your old studying style like, wow, no wonder I was stressed. Okay, so here's the secret weapon. The method schools don't teach you. The method that top students swear by. It's called active recall, and it's basically the opposite of what most of us do. Instead of rereading information again and again, active recall forces your brain to remember information without looking at the answer first. Because the moment your brain tries to pull information out of storage, you create deeper memory connections. It's like giving your brain a mini workout. Passive studying is like watching a gym tutorial. Active recall is actually lifting the weights. And here's the part that shocked me. Your brain remembers the things it struggles to recall more than the things you simply review. That, I can't remember this moment. That's the magic spark where real learning happens. You can use active recall in super simple ways, covering your notes and explaining them out loud, answering practice questions, or turning your textbook into a quiz. And trust me, once you try it, you'll never go back to passive studying again. But active recall becomes 10x stronger when you combine it with one more method, and that's where the real transformation starts. So now that you understand active recall, let me introduce the second half of the method, spaced repetition, the strategy schools should tattoo on their walls but don't. Spaced repetition is basically reviewing information at increasing intervals to lock it into your long-term memory. Instead of studying something once and forgetting it 3 days later, you study it today, then tomorrow, then 3 days later, then a week later. Each time you review it, your brain strengthens the memory like adding another layer of glue. And here's the best part. It actually saves time. Because instead of cramming for 6 hours the night before an exam, you study for short bursts over several days, and you remember way more with way less stress. Apps like Anki and Quizlet are built on this technique, but you don't need an app. You can do spaced repetition with simple handwritten questions, flashcards, or even a notebook. When you combine active recall plus spaced repetition, you create the single most powerful study system that exists. No hype, no tricks, just science. But how do you actually use this method if you're someone who procrastinates, gets overwhelmed, or has zero consistency? That's what I'm explaining next. All right, here's where most study advice falls apart. People tell you what works, but not how to use it without burning out. So here's the simple system I started using. First, divide your topic into small chunks, not giant chapters. Your brain learns better in small bites. Second, for each chunk, create 5 to 10 recall questions. Example, what is photosynthesis? Why does this formula work? How does this character change in the story? Third, instead of rereading the chapter again, answer those questions without looking at your notes. Even if you get them wrong, that's the point. Fourth, revisit the same questions tomorrow, then again 2 days later. Fifth, after every recall session, do one active output task, like teaching it out loud, writing a summary, or doing a practice question. And sixth, keep your sessions short, 25 to 40 minutes max, because long study sessions feel productive, but they're actually memory killers. This system works even if you're someone who gets distracted easily, even if you feel behind, even if studying feels stressful, because you're not memorizing, you're understanding, and that changes everything. But let me show you how this method feels in real life. Here's the moment everything clicked for me. I used to cram the night before exams. I'd sit with my notes, highlighters everywhere, YouTube lecture playing, and still feel completely unprepared. I'd study for hours but remember almost nothing. But once I switched to active recall plus spaced repetition, something weird happened. Studying became lighter. I started remembering things without trying. Classes felt easier. Tests felt less scary. And that feeling, wait, I actually understand this feeling, is addictive. You stop studying out of fear and start studying from confidence. You start learning faster than everyone else, not because you're smarter, but because your method actually works with your brain instead of against it. And the biggest change, my stress dropped. Like massively. I wasn't panicking the night before exams, I wasn't drowning in notes, I wasn't mentally frying my brain every evening. Learning felt manageable. And if you're someone who feels overwhelmed by school right now, I want you to know this. Your brain is not broken. You just need a method that finally supports you instead of exhausting you. So here's your simple starter plan. Step 1, pick one topic you're struggling with. Just one. Step 2, break it into 3 to 5 small sections. Step 3, for each section, write 3 to 7 recall questions. Step 4, try answering them right away. No notes, no textbook. Step 5, whatever you forget, write down again as your weak points. Step 6, review the same questions tomorrow. Step 7, review them again 2 days later. Step 8, on day 4 or 5, do one practice exam question or teach the topic out loud. And that's it. That's the system. It takes less time than your current method, it's scientifically stronger, and it actually builds confidence instead of anxiety. You don't need fancy stationery, you don't need aesthetic notes, you don't need to study for 4 hours a day. You just need consistency, small steps, and a method your brain actually likes. Try this tonight, literally tonight, and tomorrow you'll feel the difference. So here's the truth no school teaches you. Studying isn't about grinding harder, it's about learning smarter. It's about working with your brain, not against it. Active recall and spaced repetition aren't fancy hacks, they're the foundation of real learning. They're the difference between I studied all day but forgot everything, and I studied for 1 hour and actually remember it. And if you're watching this because you feel stressed, behind, or overwhelmed, trust me, you're not alone. You're just stuck in a broken system. But you can break out of it. You can make studying feel lighter, you can build confidence, and you can actually enjoy learning again. So here's your challenge. Today, write 5 recall questions. Just 5. Start small, start simple, and start now. Your future self will thank you for it. If this helped you even a little bit, hit the like button, subscribe to Rise and Refine, and comment Smart Study Crew so I know you're starting this method tonight. Let's level up together, one habit, one question, one study session at a time. You've got this.